Today I am going to bring back one of our favorite all-time guests. I just found out he was my 9th guest. Now I'm at 90. And when he was on, we had 200,000 viewers. So now we're like at millions, but he really helped start the fire. And I'm so happy to talk to him again. So much has changed from 2023 till today. For anyone who enjoys excellent food and restaurants, he is the executive chef at what we consider the world's finest restaurant. I want to welcome Eric Ripert to the Miller Report. And obviously the name is Le Bernardin. That is his restaurant. So
Thank you so much, Suzanne. I'm so happy to be with you. I was so proud to be with you and honored when you invited me the first time.
Thank
and
you.
Same thing today.
Thank you. So much has changed from 2023 to today, and I could just list all of your achievements and everything you've done, but I want to know from you, just broadly, what's happening in the restaurant? What is happening in the restaurant world right now?
Well, at Le Bernardin, we are full every day. Private events are full. We're doing extremely well. The luxury business in my industry is doing really well. I think the middle market is on and off, and then inexpensive restaurants are doing well as well. But it's always like this in New York.
It always goes back and forth. So there's 6,000 restaurants in New York, and yours is one of the most successful, if not probably the most successful. But when we spoke in 2023, we were coming out of the pandemic, and you still were doing okay. So from then till now, how would you rate what's going on? Do you see, because we're back to work 5 days, has it really picked up?
Oh, yes, it picked up. 2023 was challenging, but we were coming out of the crisis. We were looking for employees. They disappeared. So it was very difficult to operate with small staff. And then the demand was growing very quickly because people were so tired of restrictions and the COVID, and they wanted to forget about it. So 2023 was challenging, and we went through it. 2024 was amazing. And this year, 2025, so far is still amazing.
So where's the workforce coming from?
The workforce, well, for us, in the kitchen, we have about 80 cooks. It's not like we have a small team.
80 cooks, wow.
Most of them are Americans, and we have a lot of, I mean, not a lot, but maybe 20% of our task force in the kitchen is from the Caribbean. And then in the dining room, a lot of Europeans, French, Americans, and some employees from Ecuador.
How many staff total at Le Bernardin?
We have about 175.
That's a lot. You're feeding a lot of families.
Oh, for sure.
You're feeding a lot of families.
Yes.
You don't see it when you go into a restaurant. You don't realize how much, but I guess that's why it makes it such a special restaurant, because you have so much staff.
Yes. Well, we have to be consistent. And to be consistent, you have to have enough team behind you to be able to implement your vision.
Are you concerned about these new immigration policies affecting your labor and where you're going to get your staff from?
Not at Le Bernardin. We have our employees for a long time. Turnover is very little. We don't have illegal immigrants, to my knowledge, and they work for us for a long time. So I don't see any problem for Le Bernardin. In the kitchen, same thing, small turnover and a lot of students from culinary school. To get their papers, if they're not Americans, they have to have legal documents.
And they can be shipped.
Or they will be shipped, for sure.
So tell me how the landlord's treating you, because initially there were issues. I remember that's when we spoke. We had to get you out of a lease, and your landlord was not being realistic with your rents. Can you share with the audience how the landlord is treating you now?
Well, I had an apartment in a building.
Right.
That's what we asked you to help us.
Yes.
And we gave up these apartments that was not necessarily
that
needed.
landlord wasn't reasonable.
No. However, at Le Bernardin, the landlord is fantastic. Our building is really, really nice.
Oh, I love to hear that.
And they have been very helpful to get out of the COVID. Well, during the COVID, they have been very helpful to get out of it. They renegotiated the lease with us, and it was in our advantage in many ways. And I think they enjoy the fact that Le Bernardin is in their building, and we enjoy very much the relationship with them.
Can you share with us if it's a set rent or a percentage of how you do?
It's a little bit of both.
Okay. All right. So it's in their best interest to keep you.
I think we're bringing a lot to the building because we bring prestige.
Yes.
And
the
we
whole
bring-
street, the whole block.
Well, we are the only ones, almost. But we bring prestige and we bring good revenues for
Yes.
the building, so they like us a lot. And we work together on when we have some challenges and so on. So it's teamwork. And
Love that.
we really enjoy the relationship with them.
So, Eric, staying above the competition is tough, and you've proven yourself over and over and over again. There are so many restaurants, I think it says like 1 out of 5 go out of business. Can you share with our audience some of your secrets that make you successful? We want to know.
Well, if you are in a restaurant industry, your food has to be good, your service has to be good, and people have to feel good in a room. It has to be like a nice decor, right? To be consistent, you need to have people who have knowledge that are part of your team and people that are going to stay with you. And
Consistency.
Yes. If not, you don't have consistency. If you don't have enough staff, you cannot deliver when it's very busy. If they leave you all the time, you have to train people again and you don't have the quality. So I think this is very important. Also, the pricing is very important. If you are too expensive for the value that you are giving, people will go somewhere else because they don't feel they're getting what they deserve for the dollar they spend. If you are too cheap, of course, you don't cater to a certain clientele too. They kind of looking at you like, it's something odd here, it's something weird. So you have to have a pricing that is pretty reasonable. And then again, a team that is making sure that day after day the quality is there.
It's remarkable. I have to tell you, you've been in business probably 30 years. I remember Gilbert. I don't think there's ever been a time, I have never heard, that somebody went to Le Bernardin and had a bad meal. So you're absolutely right. You have to, it's the reputation. It's this consistency that you know when you go there, you're going to be satisfied.
Yes.
You don't think about the price. You don't remember the price, you remember the food.
That's good. That means we sold you a lot of wine.
You sold me a lot of wine. Yes, you always are very nice. And you have excellent customer service. How important is customer service?
Well, it's very important. People want to have a very special experience. They want to be pampered. They want to have something exceptional. And if you don't deliver that, well, they go somewhere else.
So are websites like GrubHub and Google Eats a model that you think could be successful to a new restaurant owner?
Not for us,
Right.
but for someone else with a different model as a restaurant. I think so, yes. I see a lot of new clients using those apps or services, including my son who's in college, and he's using it all the time because he's so busy working. He doesn't have time to cook or to go somewhere, so therefore they deliver to his room.
When you start doing GrubHub on Le Bernardin, we got troubles. I don't think
Yeah, I
that's
think
going to
so.
happen anytime soon.
I think so.
So New York, is everybody knows, is filled with tourists. And
Yes.
in my business, it's always, we do relocation for corporations. And I'm always concerned and watching the tourists coming in and out.
Yes.
Are you noticing less tourists? And where are the people coming from that are at your restaurant?
So Le Bernardin cater mostly for Americans. And when we have tourists, they are American tourists mostly. Maybe 15 to 20% are from outside the country.
Really?
And so far, we haven't seen really a change. Like right now, we are around Easter, and we see a lot of South Americans coming to New York during that time. And it's when we see the Brazilians and the Mexicans and a lot of Latino clients coming. And they're here. They are in New York shopping and indulging and having a good time.
Before we started this interview, we talked about the tariffs, and you were telling me about how more expensive items such as truffles are. Tell our audience about that.
Well, black truffles are coming from France, and we received this week 400 tins of black truffles.
400 tins.
Tins, cans.
Cans.
Truffles in the cans. We use them for sauce and other preparations. So it's a 10% tariff on all products coming to America right now for every country in the world.
Yes.
That we didn't have before. And the dollar went down by 10%.
So it cost you more.
Yes, it cost us 20% more than if we didn't have the tariff and if the dollar was strong against the euro.
Yes.
So today we have that. And some countries have tariffs that are negotiables or that have not been implemented on top of the 10%. Some countries have already those tariffs in place on top of the 10%. We don't feel it yet because we have a lot of stocks, wines and food and clothing.
You already purchased. It's already in your inventory.
It's already either way in a warehouse of the companies that sell to us, or restaurants have inventories of wine, for instance. But at one point, in 2 or 3 or 4 months from now, we're not gonna have stocks anymore, and we're gonna have to purchase outside. The people paying the tariffs are the consumers, which is us. So what's gonna happen? I think we are going to divide it in between people at the source, the producers, or the people who sell the product, the importer who sell to us a little bit, and the clients.
But that's only 10%. What if it goes to more?
If it goes to more, it's going to be probably the same scenario, but we're going to see inflation. I'll give you an example. When the Trump administration was in the White House for the first time, they put 20% on French wine.
I remember that.
20% tariff on French wine. Again, we had stocks, and it was fine. And then we had to buy some wine in France. And what happened is that, again, the people making the wine took a little bit of a loss. The importer, same thing, and us, same thing, and the client. So it was basically an inflation of 5% for everybody in the process. And we are going to see that again. It's no doubt.
That's it's very realistic. So it's actually costing you 30% more at this moment. If you had to buy the goods now with the dollar low and the 10% tariffs, it's physically costing you
20% now. But if we add
plus, no,
some
if the
more,
dollar is down 20% plus 10%,
Yep.
it's 30%.
Yeah.
So 30% higher for you to buy your truffles.
Yes. Well, right now the dollar is 10% against
74 this morning.
Against
the euro.
The euro, yes.
So 25%.
25% since the beginning of the year, yeah.
Well, I hope the quality of the food doesn't go down.
The quality of the food will not go down. Well, the good news for Le Bernardin is that...
The good news is you're not buying truffles from China.
That's a very good news. I agree with you, Suzanne. But also, Le Bernardin, we have always said we have beautiful products in America. It's no need to import so much seafood from outside. We have it in the East Coast and the West Coast of the country. We have great farmers. We have a lot of great products here. So therefore, we don't feel it so much. But for instance, for the olive oil, how much California can provide for the country? At one point, we need to buy olive oil either way in Greece or in Spain or Italy or somewhere else. And it's going to be some tariffs. So therefore, it will be some inflations in everywhere, a little bit everywhere.
Hopefully it'll all even out.
I hope so.
Because we have to believe in this wonderful country. Let me, I want to ask you if you'll share with us, we have a political election coming up. For the average restaurant person like yourself, who do you think will be best for businesses? Which candidate for mayor?
Are we talking about the mayor we have now, who's going to be running under being independent?
Mm-hmm. Mayor Adams.
Yeah, Mayor Adams or Como?
Yes.
I think it's hard for me to say because I'm not really an expert. You know much more than me, Suzanne. But my impression is that Como is maybe more business oriented.
That is my question. For the average business person, and you are a large business in New York, you're a staple in New York. So I think that people have to look at who's going to be good for business, and you're important.
Yes.
Your opinion is important.
Yeah, I think Como for the business will be more attentive and supporting more.
Got it. So again, you were on in 2023. At that time, I was so nervous to walk out of my house. And you were saying you were walking everywhere. You were walking to every day you walk back and forth to work. Are you still doing that? What's the vibe?
Yes, I live on 72 on the Upper East Side. And every day I cross Central Park, go down 7th Avenue and go to Le Bernardin, which is on 51st between 6 and 7. At the time, it was a lot of homeless people in the streets, a lot of people begging in a park. Today, I don't see that.
Wow.
It's and at night when I go back home, even on Madison Avenue, I used to see a lot of people begging and in the street. Today, I don't see that anymore.
So we really are coming back.
We are coming back big time.
And the restaurant is full. So tell our audience, because the prices everywhere is going up so much, and with
Yes.
the tariffs, if they go to Le Bernardin, what can they expect, and what is an average price for a meal?
So for lunch, in the lounge, we have what we call the City Harvest
I love
lunch.
the lounge.
Well, I love the lounge
I love
too.
the lounge.
So we have a City Harvest menu. So we give $5 to City Harvest, which rescue food for people in need. $90 appetizer, main course, dessert,
Wow.
and then in the main dining room, $120 canapé, appetizer, main course, desserts, and cookies and petit fours. And at night it's $210, but you have 2 appetizer, 1 main course, the canapés, the dessert, and the cookies and chocolates.
I would rather do that. I think I would rather know what I'm getting. I'm going to get a superb meal at the finest restaurant in New York and not be surprised. That's a great deal. Everybody's got to hear that.
I think it's a great deal, great value.
So are you going to raise the prices soon?
I hope not. I do not want to raise prices. I want to stay where we are. So we're going to do everything possible to not touch the quality of the experience for the clients and the quality of the products, obviously. And we'll see how it goes.
Well, I think that is fantastic. Everybody has to remember to keep fine dining at Le Bernardin. And thank you so much for coming back on the Miller Report. And
thank you, Suzanne. It was really a great pleasure to see you today and be with you. Thank you so much,
Eric. And thank you for what you're doing and what you do for New York and 51st Street.
51st, for sure. We are the only ones.
Only ones. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Eric.